Tonight, find out how you can be a storm spotter.
Plus, Troy residents enjoy a jazz concert. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
The high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus with news from Troy University locations around the world. This is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for October 17, 2012. I'm Bailey Majors.
And I'm Christina Cook. Thank you for joining us this evening. Today, students had the opportunity to show their creativity while helping fight against domestic violence. Deatra Montgomery gives us a look.
According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in her lifetime, and most cases of domestic violence will never be reported to the police. Troy University's SAVE project shared these facts and more at their second annual clothesline event on the Big Grace Quad on Wednesday afternoon.
We're asking students to come out, decorate a shirt in remembrance or in honor of a victim or survivor of domestic violence to show that we're not afraid to speak out against domestic violence.
Students were given a t-shirt and markers to create anything from pictures to favorite sayings that related to the cause. The SAVE project also provided quotes, statistics, and names of people affected by domestic violence.
Having the names of just people who have died from Alabama within the past year really, I think, helps to let the students know how serious the issue is in our community, and it also kind of hits home with everybody.
Though all these shirts are different, there is one common thread. Domestic violence is an issue not only here in Troy, but also all across the world.
It affects everyone. So I really want students to realize that how important this issue is, just to know basically how to go about breaking the silence around it.
Students who participated enjoyed a chance to speak out against domestic violence through a creative outlet. They believe this is one step closer to show their support of this awareness to family, friends, and fellow students.
I believe that domestic violence is a very serious matter, and this might actually help a young lady who might be actually on this campus who is in a domestic abuse and doesn't know how to get help.
There's a lot of women in my family, and some of them have been the victims of domestic violence, so I decided to come and show my support.
Deatra Montgomery, Troy TrojanVision News.
The shirts created today will be displayed on the second floor of the Trojan Center until the end of the month.
A plan that will help get Troy University's 7,500 students off campus and into the community to support local Troy businesses was announced at last night's SGA meeting. Judson Garner has more.
A plan to reduce the gap between small businesses in the city of Troy and Troy University's student body is underway.
Recognize the fact that we do offer our students meal plans on campus, okay? We're not discouraging students from taking advantage of that at all. But eventually, you know, your dining hall meals and your flex points are going to run out.
Thompson says the best thing students can do to better serve the city of Troy is to support local small businesses. And at last night's SGA meeting, he announced a plan to give students an incentive to do so by giving them something they can always carry around with them.
We distribute a coupon book at the beginning of the year, but at the same time, that's a free thing too, but you only get one-time uses out of that. This is something that you can use at your own discretion.
A card, and although this project was announced and it is in motion, that doesn't mean that there are no hurdles towards the finish line.
2 parties are going to play a key role in seeing that this gets done. Hopefully the Chamber of Commerce, which I feel pretty confident that they'll be completely on board with this, and the Governmental Affairs Council at Troy.
Thompson says he, along with the Governmental Affairs Council, will meet with the Chamber of Commerce within the next 2 weeks to discuss how this card will most effectively benefit students and the city of Troy. Judson Garner, Troy TrojanVision News.
Also announced at the SGA meeting, due to a scheduling conflict, it was decided that this week's pep rally will take place during Thursday night volleyball matchup against South Alabama. The pep rally events will take place between sets. The volleyball game tips off at 7 p.m. in Sartain Hall.
Alabama residents experience a variety of weather scenarios, and last night some Pike County residents were able to learn how to spot specific storms. Rachel Scarborough shows us how they became storm spotters.
Sound. You know that severe weather is near, but how does the National Weather Service receive information about storms? They rely on storm spotters, and some Pike County residents took time Monday night to receive training on how to be a storm spotter.
And what they're seeing during severe weather and how to report severe weather to our office during severe weather. It's very important for us to know what's going on the ground.
Goggins says to adhere to the ACEs rule when storm spotting: awareness, communication, escape route, and shelter. This rule could save your life.
Adhere to all those different principles to keep themselves safe, but also giving us valuable information at the same time.
The audience asked many questions, and the meteorologists greatly appreciated their knowledge of past storms in the area.
This audience seemed to be very interactive, sharing their own stories, telling us about past experiences, and also asking very good questions. So I think it was a very interactive group.
Anyone can be a storm spotter, and here's how you can do it.
Go to our website and maybe sign up for an online storm spotter course. And also in the spring, that we're going to be out in the field, and anybody can show up to one of our storm spotter courses.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
For more information on how to become a storm spotter, you can go to www.weather.gov and click on Storm Spotters. Well, Bailey, the city of Troy offers residents entertainment throughout the year.
That's right, Christina, and last night residents were able to enjoy a night of jazz music and swing dancing. Tuesday night, the city of Troy held a night of swing on the square, where Troy University's jazz band, the Swing Dance Club, and members of Troy's community came together to enjoy a night of music and dancing.
Tonight we're just having a big get-together. We want to join the Swing Dance Club with the jazz band and just play a few tunes that we can all dance to. It's a good time to come out and hang out and have a good time.
Swing on the Square was the fourth concert that the community and the Sound of the South has put on downtown for Troy residents. And one community member says that the concerts are always enjoyable.
It's brought back by popular demand by our community. They love for the university band to come down on the square and play music, free entertainment. It's a wonderful evening.
Participants in the Night of Swing said that the concert was a great way to have fun, but also a way for the city of Troy to stay connected.
I think it's a great way to bring together our community of Troy, bring together not just the students, but also, you know, the adults here and the kids as well. The kids are having a lot of fun as well, and I just think it's a great way to connect the university with the town.
The Swing Dance Club is great. The jazz band is fun. You know, it's a lot of work, but you know, this is just a great collaboration from the students.
The next concert on the square will take place in the spring.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, state health officials say 2 people who got steroid injections from a specialty pharmacy linked to a meningitis outbreak are showing symptoms. The department has contacted 4 of the 6 additional residents who live in Alabama, but were treated in Florida. The other 2 are fine.
And in Wetumpka, leaders of the Poarch Band of Creek Indians have agreed to stop construction of a planned 20-story hotel casino. The Montgomery Advertiser reports that the Poarch Band and the Muscogee Nation of Creek Indians said in statements that construction halted today at 5 p.m. The tribe has historic ties to the land and is objective to the graves of the ancestors being exhumed and moved to make way for the expansion of the Poarch Creeks.
And also in Montgomery, a federal appeals court has upheld the death sentence of 1 of 4 men convicted in the 1913 kidnapping and burning death of an Anniston man. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals last week upheld the death sentence of 41-year-old Anthony Boyd for the slaying of Gregory Hewley.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan football team's offense has been productive this season. Will they be able to keep it up this weekend, possibly missing 2 key starters? Dana Percival will have more in sports.
But first, both presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail today after battling it out in last night's debate. We'll have that story and more after the break.
The president and Mitt Romney keep up their battle on the campaign trail. I'm Danielle Nottingham at the White House. I'll have the story coming up.
All right, guys, we got to be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're going to run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm going to run around in circles, flap my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up
to Play 60.
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Christina Cook at the Global News Desk. Christina.
Thanks, Bailey. Less than 24 hours after the two presidential candidates squared off in a heated debate, both were back on the stumping battleground states. President Obama is re-energized and Republican challenger Mitt Romney isn't backing down. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from the White House.
With the stage to himself in a key battleground state, President Obama continued his contentious debate with Mitt Romney.
So let's recap what we learned last night. His tax plan doesn't add up. His jobs plan doesn't create jobs. His deficit reduction plan adds to the deficit.
In Chesapeake, Virginia, Governor Mitt Romney offered his own recap of highlights.
I love these debates. You know, these things are great. And I think it's interesting that the president still doesn't have an agenda for a second term.
With less than 3 weeks until Election Day, the president and his Republican challenger are running out of time to sway undecided voters. Both are focusing on women. The president is running with Governor Romney's debate comments about recruiting women for his Massachusetts administration.
I've got to tell you, we don't have to collect a bunch of binders to find qualified, talented, driven young women ready to learn and teach in these fields right now.
Romney is focusing on how women have fared under the president's leadership.
Why is it that there are 3.6 million more women in poverty today than when the president took office? This president has failed America's women.
CBS News asked a group of about 500 uncommitted voters who won the second debate. They gave a slight edge to the president. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the White House.
A new study in the Journal of the American Medical Association finds taking a multivitamin daily lowers the risk of cancer. Edward Lawrence reports from Los Angeles.
Certainly something we can work with over the next few months.
52-year-old Mark Martiak takes a multivitamin every day.
I always felt if I could help myself, why not give myself an advantage?
A new large, long-term study of middle-aged and older men finds taking a multivitamin daily reduces the overall risk of cancer 8%. Researchers say the reduction may sound small, but it's significant.
Even an 8% reduction in something as common as cancer can still have a profound impact in terms of our long-term health and longevity.
Many studies of individual vitamins have found they don't improve health and in some cases even cause harm. Researchers believe multivitamins may help because they contain a combination of vitamins and minerals similar to what you'd find eating the right amount of fruits and vegetables.
They might not get in their diet, so things like vitamin C and E and A are going to be important. Extra iron will be important.
At least 1/3 of U.S. adults take a multivitamin regularly. Most users are over the age of 50. The only cancer multivitamins did not have an effect on was prostate cancer. Martiak hopes the study encourages others to take supplements.
Every man should really have the understanding that multivitamins can help.
Researchers say whether the results extend to women and younger adults remain to be seen. Edward Lawrence for CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, such as what the state of Texas is doing to help a member of its community, you can tune into TrojanVision Global News right here after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Bailey.
Thank you, Christina. And now Danielle Percival joins us for a look at sports. So Danielle, a busy weekend for the Trojan Athletics is just right around the corner.
That's right, Bailey. Most of the time you think of the action being on Friday and Saturday. Well, actually tomorrow, Thursday, it's going to be a busy day on campus with 2 different teams in action. There's lots to get into, so let's get to it.
All right.
For Trojan football fans, you probably remember last year wasn't all that pretty. This year, the Trojans resorted back to getting a ground game established, and they've been able to do it. Sean Southward has already rushed for more yards this season than he did all of last year, and the running backs as a whole are only 77 yards shy of the rushing total from last season. The offense ranks second in the Sun Belt in total offense, averaging 477 yards per game, and ranks first in the league in pass offense. With quarterback Corey Robinson questionable for the game this weekend, the pass offense might have to take a back seat and let the boys in the backfield do their thing. And DJ Taylor doesn't seem to think that'll be a problem.
My confidence is tremendous in, our offense. I feel like we'll continue to try to improve each and every week. But I think Corey will be back this week, hopefully.
While Taylor is optimistic about Robinson's return, it is still in question whether the Trojans' starting quarterback will play in Saturday's game against FIU. That game will begin at noon at Veterans Memorial Stadium on Saturday. And on a side note, in the conference, last night North Texas handed Louisiana Lafayette their first loss of the season. Now that does help the Trojans, though they still need a few more teams to lose along the way in order to get back into the title hunt. Speaking of Louisiana Lafayette, they can also help out the soccer team tomorrow by taking another loss. The Trojans and the Ragin' Cajuns meet on the pitch tomorrow at the Trojan Soccer Complex at 1 o'clock. Troy won in their last outing at home on Senior Day against Arkansas Little Rock, but are 3-5-1 at home this year and looking to end the home schedule on a positive note.
It's important for our girls to get out and play our game. If we get caught up in that, it'll be very easy for us then to lose. But if we get more focused on what we do, controlling the tempo, controlling the rhythm of play, looking to keep the ball a little bit. At times we may have to defend, but I think if we do those things, we'll be fine.
The Ragin' Cajuns are 7-9-1 overall and tied with Troy at 8th in the conference. This game will help determine which team will earn the final spot in the conference tournament. And tomorrow will be a busy day for Troy athletics with 2 home games. Soccer, of course, at 1 o'clock, and then volleyball will be in action tomorrow night at Sartain Hall. The Trojans have had 2 home midweek games so far this season. The first against Auburn, where the Trojans were swept in straight sets, but the other, Troy, swept the Rattlers of Florida A&M in 3 sets. Now, neither of those were conference games, of course, but this one is more than just conference. It's an in-state game against South Alabama.
That's our natural rival. They don't like us much. We don't like them very much. It's a drag them out, fight to the finish to see who wins. We won down there last year in 4. They won here last year in 4. So we really need to be on our A game. We need to play hard. We need to play well.
The Trojans and the Jaguars will take to the court tomorrow night at 7, and again, to avoid any confusion, the pep rally, which is normally scheduled for 6:30 on Thursdays, will be during the volleyball game tomorrow night. This past weekend, the cross-country teams were in action at home, and one of the biggest accomplishments of the meet was the men's team finishing in first overall. The Trojan men were led by junior Enoch Karui, who finished with a time of 27 minutes, 25.08 seconds, and fellow junior Kemper Morton kept pace with Karui, finishing with a time of 27 minutes and 38 seconds. Head cross-country coach Jeff Jenkins said there was a strategy that led to the team victory.
About halfway through the race, and Enoch was doing exactly what I was asking him to do. He was staying back with some of the other runners and trying to pull them along so they can have some success. About halfway through the race, I thought the guy ahead of him had pulled away too far. But Enoch and Kemper both ended up running very well the second half of the race and catching the guy in the front. We went 1-2 in the race and had a great performance from those two.
The cross-country teams have now completed the regular season and await the conference championship, which will be in Bowling Green, Kentucky on October 27th. So as you can see, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow on campus with soccer and volleyball in action. Not quite like last Thursday when we had the home football game, but still very exciting having those sports in action on campus, and looking forward to getting out there myself.
Yeah, it's always nice to have games at home and definitely come out and support tomorrow night.
That's right. Best of luck to everyone.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up on TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll learn about the Trojan men's basketball season.
But first, we've seen warm, sunny days with cooler nights this past week. What can we expect for the rest of the week, Brittany?
Well, we definitely can see that warm weather has been here, but we definitely have some rain coming in, and that may be cooling things off. Stay tuned for your local weather up next.
The path of my life, the way it took me, there was detours and things that had to be done, but I never lost the passion. I decided to continue my education and decided to do it here at Troy. But I've had a great support system with my teachers and my advisors, and I'll be forever grateful to them for that.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education and a culture of caring. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
My name is Deborah, and I choose Troy every day.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Brittany Drawdy joins us for a look at weather.
So, Brittany, it seems like we've had a lot of warm temperatures this week. What can we expect for the weekend?
It definitely seems like warm weather has been staying around a little bit. For the weekend, it looks pretty good. But for right now, we can take a look outside and then see that it's been pretty clear today. Very beautiful, sunny skies. Definitely what we want it to be, a little warm, but very nice. Sunny skies, temperature sitting around 78, dew point at 49, humidity at 36%, barometer at 29.83, and steady, and winds coming from the south at 9 miles per hour. Today's stats, high 78, a low of 61, no rain, sunrise at 6:49 a.m. and a sunset at 6:09 p.m. Around the state, Mobile 79, a little partly cloudy there, Huntsville 78 and sunny, Birmingham 76 and sunny, Montgomery 80 and sunny. Definitely really nice to see the sunshine coming around. 78 in Troy, Phoenix City 79, and Dothan at 78. Definitely sunshine around the state, which is really nice to see. Definitely sitting in the 70s, which is that nice weather. 74 in Atlanta. Current temperatures here, we can see the southeast is definitely still a little warm, seeing those 70s, those 80s, which is really nice for us. Current surface, we can see there's a lot of going on. This low front here, bringing some rain to the north of us, but as we look closer for us, we can see this low front that had moved across Florida, really bringing some rain down there, but for us, staying pretty clear, so it's really nice. Temperature change, we can see a 6-degree warming up in the past 24 hours. Next 48 hours, maybe a half-inch chance of rain coming in for the southeast, so keep an eye out for that. Thursday, same thing. Might be seeing that chance of rain to the southeast of Alabama. By Friday, it moves out. Saturday, staying out for the weekend, which will be really nice. And Sunday, looking like it's going to be cleared. Very nice weekend as we go into it. Tonight's forecast, we can see mostly clear skies. That 20% chance of rain. Definitely keep an eye out as we go into the evening. Light winds coming from the south around 6 miles per hour. And seeing a low of 61. Not as cool as we've been experiencing, but still going to be a little cool. Tomorrow's forecast, we can see that 30% chance of isolated thunderstorms are coming in. Definitely, you know, we haven't been experiencing a lot of it. Definitely been warm, and now we're seeing a little chance of rain coming in. So be prepared for that. Keep an umbrella with you and watch out for that. Windy coming from the west to southwest, 10 miles per hour. Seeing a high of 80, still going to be warming right up in the midday. So we can see 4-day forecast. Sun comes back out. Thursday, we do have that 30% chance of isolated thunderstorms. Seeing a low of 50. It's definitely going to cool the evenings off slightly. Definitely have a jacket prepared. Friday, high of 78 and a low of 47. Saturday, we're seeing a high of 76 and a low of 49. Definitely going to be cooling off as we go into the evening. And Sunday, we're going to be seeing a high of 81 and that sun coming back out. So, Christina, we can see it's going to be beautiful. Like tomorrow, it seems like that chance of isolated thunderstorms, that stray chance coming through, it's going to kind of dampen things. But once we get past tomorrow, sun's going to be coming back out. And for the weekend, it's going to be very warm during the day and definitely cooler at night. People are going to have to grab a jacket if they're headed out or going anywhere.
Okay, well, then that sounds good. Seems like we have a really nice couple of days with the weather, and especially for tonight with our Oktoberfest going on, so I think that everybody will be able to enjoy the weather.
It'll definitely be great weather for that.
Okay, thanks so much, Brittany.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany. The Trojan men's basketball season tips off in less than a month. In today's edition of Trojan Talk, Aaron Taylor gets a preview of the season.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming men's basketball season and talking to a man who knows a little thing or two about that, head coach Don Maestri. Don, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you, Aaron.
And talking about this upcoming season, the We'll get to the schedule in a little bit, but first and foremost, the big thing about this upcoming season is the new arena. And I know you've got to be excited about finally getting into this new arena.
I think not only me, but the players. They can't wait for our first practice in the new arena, which will actually be next week. But I've been in that thing 20, maybe 30 times in the summer, going back and forth and looking at things. And there's never a time that you go in that you don't get excited. That this just creates an enthusiasm. If I show somebody else around, they leave the same way. They're all excited, and it's just it's such a classy facility in every area, from the signage to the concession stands to the way the chair backs are made. Everybody's got a drink holder. I mean, it's just the little touches in it. As Dr. Patterson, a vice chancellor, told me, it's the Taj Mahal of basketball. So. And I'm going to use that in the future on some interviews, because it is really one of the nicest arenas in the country.
And one of the things is the seating has changed for this new arena. One of the things that we've talked about is that the students now have an opportunity to be closer to the court, which will add a little bit to the excitement of these games, right?
Well, everybody that watches basketball, college basketball on television, they'll see the student body, like at Duke, Illinois, Michigan, right on the court, right behind the benches. And we're going to have one side where our students can come down in all three sections, the midcourt and the two on the foul line, and for every home game. So I think we'll have more student attendance, but it'll give us a great college atmosphere for basketball.
And now let's talk a little about the upcoming season. First off, how are things looking with the team this year?
Well, I think we're going to have a competitive team. They have great chemistry. We have a lot of new faces. We only have 3 seniors on the team. One started, Emil Jones, and then Justin Wright started part-time, and there were a few games that Ray Chambers started. All the rest of the guys are basically new. So we're going to be dependent a lot on their contributions, which I think we'll see an impact immediately. We have some really good basketball players. I don't know how any individual would stand up against other people in our league, but collectively I think they know how to play the game of basketball, which may help them as a group. So I think we've got a chance to be a fun team to watch.
And the schedule this season, talk a little about the schedule and what some of the, I guess, the big points. Obviously the first game is a big one, but some of the other things you're looking at on the schedule this season.
Well, we've got, besides Mississippi State, which is the opener, we've got to go to Texas A&M, which is now in the SEC. We've got UAB at home. We've got Georgia State at home. We have a nice home schedule. As a matter of fact, we have more home games this year than away, which is
unusual.
Twice in 30 years since I've been here. So that's really nice. It's not only nice for us in terms of maybe helping us be successful, but I think it's great for our fans. They're going to really enjoy this basketball team in the environment with the pep band, the dance team, the video boards, the look, the wow factor.
The whole thing.
It's going to be an event, more of a than just a basketball game. It's going to be very entertaining.
And to mention that schedule, that opener, Mississippi State, everyone's excited to see basketball in there, but then the addition of getting an SEC school in there for the first game, I know that's got to build the level of excitement to high levels.
Well, I think it's a few things. One, it's historical. You're going to be able to be at the first game in the history of this arena. That's historical. You're going to attend the first game. Hopefully, some of you all will attend the last game like they did at Sartine. I don't know if I'll be at the last game, but I look forward to being involved in the first game. The other thing is we've never had an SEC basketball team come to Troy, Alabama. So that in itself has created a lot of excitement. And also just the building. I think when you add that together, being the first game ever in the arena, being an SEC team as the opponent, when you combine all those things, you're looking for one great night of entertainment.
Big wow factor, especially if you haven't seen it yet. It is an impressive building, and hopefully there'll be an impressive season this year.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have adjectives enough to describe this building. I really don't. I tell people you have to see it, and then they'll leave and they'll tell somebody else.
Well, they'll get their chance to see it soon. Thanks for joining me today,
Thank you, Aaron.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. That's all the time we have. Now, back to the news desk.
That's all the time we have for Trojan Vision Nightly News. For all of us here at Trojan Vision, thanks for joining us.
And remember to tune in again tomorrow night for more news, sports, and weather. Have a great night.